Part of their land used to belong to Europe, so that's how they managed to sign up with UEFA about 23 years ago. But this is on the east side of Kazakhstan. It would actually be closer for Real Madrid to travel to pretty much anywhere in Africa, and even some parts of China are closer than where the match is taking place tonight at the Ortalyk Stadium. 26,000 in attendance this evening. It's sold out, of course, the biggest game in the club's history. Real Madrid against Kairat. Take you through the two lineups then, as we're a couple minutes away from kick-off. The two sets of players are emerging from the tunnel in what's quite an open plan stadium, traditional bowl stadium. It's dark there, so a few hours ahead of the UK time. Some Real Madrid fans will have had to make an 11-hour plane journey to get to this game. The thing of Real Madrid is there's fans all over the world, so I'm sure fans of neighbouring countries to Kazakhstan have maybe been able to make the trip. But there will undoubtedly be some loyal Madrid fans who have made the long trip. So the two teams then, in goal for Kairat is Kalmurza. There's a defence of Tapalov, Martinovic, Sorokin and Mata, Arad and Kusabalat in midfield, Gronkyo and Marinsky on the wings, with Jorginho and Satpayev up front. 4-4-2 formation for them. Manager Rafael Urazbakin, been at the club for about 13 months now, and now in charge of the biggest night in their history. A chance to go down in the history books if they could get a result here against Real Madrid. And the visiting side, Courtois in goal, it's Garcia and Asensio at fullback, Dean Howson and David Alaba as the two centre-backs. They have got quite a few defensive injuries, Real Madrid. Tchouameni and Ceballos in midfield, with Gula ahead of them, Mastantuono on the right wing, Vinicius on the left wing, and Kylian Mbappe up front. So they haven't backed down, Real Madrid, at all. They're going pretty much as strong as they can. They've got a very good bench as well. Lunin, Navarro, Carreras, Jimenez, and then Camavinga, Valverde, Bellingham, Brahim Diaz, Endrick, Gonzalo Garcia and Rodrigo. Stacked bench, they've brought their full team, and despite their defensive woes and injuries, still looks fairly solid back there. But of course they were tested in the Madrid derby on the weekend. They lost that one 5-2. It was pretty humiliating for them. Mendy, Rudiger, Carvajal, Militao and Alexander-Arnold all out injured. So they do have somewhat of an excuse with all those defensive injuries, but against Kairat tonight they really don't have any excuse at all. Martinovic, centre-back and captain for Kairat, just exchanging pleasantries with David Alaba ahead of kick-off. It's nice to see him back playing in the Champions League. He's had his injury problems over the last couple of years since signing for Real Madrid in 2021. Missed the vast majority of the last season. It's nice for him, I'm sure, to be back playing in the Champions League, starting again. 10 years at Bayern playing left back. Huge games he was involved in and won Champions Leagues. Last season only managed to play 14 games. The season before that just 17. The first two campaigns at Real Madrid he played 46 and 39 games, and he wasn't really dropped because of form. It was just injuries over the last 2 years. Almost ready for kick-off here. David Alaba captaining the sides. Yeah, almost ready to get going. Tchouameni making his final preparations with Ceballos in midfield. Haven't seen so much of him this season. We also haven't seen Vinicius and Mbappe starting too many games together this season, but they are tonight. The referee blows his whistle. The 15-time winners taking on Kairat Almaty in their second ever Champions League game. Long ball forwards immediately for Kairat, and it's over the top. There's a header towards goal, and straight away from kickoff they forced a save from Courtois, who's done well to actually stop them going a goal down. He's held on to it. If he'd have parried that anywhere, that could have been really dangerous. Real Madrid switch it over to the right-hand side. They get themselves forwards, and goodness me, have avoided some real embarrassment there. Kairat playing it out from the back now. Down the right-hand side they come. Tapalov, he plays it in field, and they switch it over to the left-hand side. Worth remembering, this is just a game of football and anything can happen. Kairat's obviously such a small club in comparison to Real Madrid. To put it into context, their record signing was €1 million, and that was over 10 years ago. Real Madrid spent 10 times that just to release Trent Alexander-Arnold from his Liverpool contract a month early. They spent 150 million this summer in other additions, and it was one of their, dare I say, smaller spending sprees. So that puts it into context, the size difference between these two teams. It's Real Madrid in possession now inside their own half with Tchouaméni. Rolls the ball forwards towards Arda Güler. Turns back and switches the play over to the right-hand side for Asensio. Playing out at right back today, normally a centre half, given their injury crisis at the back. Players having to improvise a bit. Across it goes to David Alaba and back to Courtois in goal. Played 2 minutes 20. Kairat actually coming very close to scoring within 5 seconds of the game starting. It was took the kick off, they rolled it back, 3 players charged forwards into the box. It was a long ball lofted over the top of the Real Madrid defence, and they got a header off, and it was a shot on target within a couple of seconds. They must have been practicing that one most of the week. If it had come off, there would have been absolute scenes here in Kazakhstan. Ball rolls through to Courtois after a long kick from the goalie. Kalmurza. Alaba into midfield for Ceballos. Alaba walks the ball down the left-hand side, drops it off with Vinicius, gets it back, plays it around the corner to Mbappe, who drives in field and skips past the defender. He's challenged in the centre midfield by Arad. He knocks it down the right-hand side for Topalov. Topalov chops back onto his left foot, plays it in field to Arad. 30 yards from the Real Madrid goal, it goes back out to the right. Trying to work across with Marinsky. Back to Tapalov. And they go backwards towards their own goal, instead of putting a ball into the box this time. 15 degrees Celsius in Kazakhstan. For those of you just joining us, I was explaining at the start that this is the longest trip possible in the Champions League. It was an 11-hour flight from Madrid to Almaty in Kazakhstan. On the east side of the country, it's the 9th biggest country in the world. Just to put that into perspective, it's actually part of it is further away from Madrid than China is, and further away than most of Africa as well in terms of the flight time. This is a huge away trip for them, and that's got to be taken into perspective. You lose pretty much a day of preparation just with the flight alone. No excuse really for Real Madrid, though. They should be walking this one, but we'll see how it pans out. The early chance of the game actually for the hosts. Got a throw in just inside the Real Madrid half, goes into the centre of midfield. Tchouaméni gets his head on it, falls into the centre of the pitch. Arad switches it over to the left hand side. It's controlled on the chest by Gronko. Back into centre on midfield for Casabulat. Gives possession away, it's taken off him by Mastantuono, who plays it out to the left for Vinicius, and now Vinicius driving forwards. He plays a through ball towards Mbappe, which is under hit. Miscued from Vinicius. Intercepted. And Kairat will knock it forwards down the right hand side. Dean Howson watches it back to the goalkeeper. And Courtois hacks it away down the left hand side. Satpayev getting a touch on the ball, deflecting it out for a throw-in. Be Real Madrid's throw. Pretty much every way the game with the biggest gap in the league phase, as Kairat come down the right hand side actually into the penalty area, and Dean Howson slides across, concedes the corner. Good defending, but the early signs are genuinely that Kairat are up for this and Real Madrid might not be. It's the biggest gap in the league phase, financially and geographically. Far closer games going on elsewhere. Biggest budget versus the smallest budget. 11-hour flight west of Europe to the very east of Europe, if you can count it as Europe. It's actually classified as Central Asia, but they whip in the corner. Kairat into the centre of the box, flicked away by Dean Howson and volleyed in from the edge of the box from Luis Mata, and it's been deflected out, I believe, for a throw-in right next to the corner flag, but he caught the volley so well. One of them where it's headed out of the penalty area from the corner, and he struck it first time, running onto it with real conviction. Just seeing on the replay, it was heading wide, and it's actually taken a flick off a Kairat player, so it's a Real Madrid throw down by their own corner flag on the far side. Real Madrid in their home kit, all white. Kairat in theirs, which is a yellow and black striped top with black shorts and black socks. They take the throw in now after Real Madrid conceded it. Kairat drive forwards towards the striker Jorginho, knocks it out to Casabulat. Tries to play it down the right hand side, it's intercepted by Fran Garcia. He turns and gives it back to Ceballos, onto David Alaba, all the way back to the goalkeeper Courtois. Kairat losing their last game 4-1 to Sporting. They did hold out almost until half time though, so we know they've got some sort of defensive rigidity and they can keep teams out for a little while. 8 minutes in here, Real Madrid yet to break them down at all. Down the left it goes to Ceballos. Driving forwards. Finds Mbappe 35 yards from goal, facing back towards his own players. Gives it to Ceballos, chips it over to the right hand side. The pass is deflected but collected by Asensio. Gives it to Mastantuono and gets it back. Still driving forwards, then the ball's taken off him in midfield, and driving up the pitch now is Ofri Arad. Getting it down the left hand side to Satpayev. Met by Howson. Turns back and plays into midfield for Kairat. Now with the centre back Sorokin. Now Martinovic, the captain, just inside of their own half. Sorokin chips it long over the top down the left hand side. It goes through to Thibaut Courtois, who rolls it out. And Real Madrid will get going. The ball in their possession. This would have been an absolute dream when the fixtures were released for Kairat. They wouldn't have been able to believe it. They drew Real Madrid at home as well, so their supporters get to enjoy them coming over all that way. They don't have to travel the 11 hours on a plane to go to Madrid. Very special. 10 minutes in. The better team so far have been the hosts from Kazakhstan. Real Madrid yet to create an opportunity. Kairat have had two. As it goes over the top towards Mbappe, who stood up by Luis Mata. They collide. Throw-in given the way of Kairat, much to the annoyance of Kylian Mbappe. He thought he was brought down. He's not happy at all with the linesman, who actually gave the decision. It was right down by him. I have to agree with him. He was certainly had his heels clipped as he tried to get to the ball. It was a foul. Linesman didn't spot it, and that's frustrated Mbappe because he was right there, right down next to him. Down the right-hand side they come now, Real Madrid again. With Ceballos. Turns and gives it back to Howson. 1-2 between him and Ceballos. Howson then forwards again. Across to Tchouaméni. Now out to the left for David Alaba. Trying to make a crossing opportunity. When they're out of possession though, Kairat are slipping into a 5 at the back. The defensive midfielder Casabulat seems to be dropping in and filling in that role. 4-4-2 when they have the ball. Definitely 5 at the back though when they are out of possession. As Howson brings the ball down the left hand side now, finds Vinicius. Couple of step overs inside onto his right foot, out to the edge of the box for Ceballos, through to Mbappe. Mbappe turns, gets the ball onto his left foot, and it's hacked away from him by Martinovic, who's defended well there. Their second ever game in the Champions League as a club. Kairat Almaty. I just think there is such a huge difference in budgets and quality between these two sides, but so far in this game, they genuinely have looked better than Real Madrid. No goals yet though. Gula whips it in. Goalkeeper comes for it and misses the ball completely. It drops to Vinicius on the edge of the box, who's dispossessed, and now it's a counter-attack for Kairat Almaty. Jorginho on the ball. Knocks it down the left-hand side. The pass is under hit. You see a bit of a lack of quality there because they're on the counter-attack. Really keen to get forwards on a quick break. Sliding challenge from Mastantuono has actually brought it to a close. Anyway, the referee's given a foul in favour of Kairat. Pass was way under hit, and if anything that actually helped Kairat out because Mastantuono was expecting the ball to make it out to the winger. He didn't, he lunged for it and he took the man. Free kick. Launched forwards down the right hand side. Fran Garcia wins the ball back for Real Madrid. He knocks it up in the air. Martinovic goes for the header and can only head it the wrong way by accident, and then Mbappe backheels it through to Vinicius. Vinicius one-on-one with the goalkeeper, chips in with his right foot and just dribbles past the post. Poor finish in the end from Vinicius. It was a lovely backheel through ball from Mbappe. He had one chance to get that right and just flicked it with the outside of his right boot. Perfectly weighted through ball for the Brazilian winger, who was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, opted to chip in with the outside of his right foot and just scoop the ball past the post. Should have done better there, Vinicius, in all honesty. That was a really good opportunity. One-on-one with Cal Mirza, the goalkeeper. He's not a big goalkeeper either. 18 years of age. He's only 5'11" as well, and he's being dropped in the deep end here. Didn't play any of the qualification games. Straight in against Real Madrid. Vinicius missed the chance. Remains 0-0 for now. So Senzio takes the throw-in down the line. 1-2 between him and Mastantuono. Headed on towards Arda Güler. Tries a little back heel flick, similar to Mbappe, which doesn't come off. Was brilliant from Kylian Mbappe. That ball was flashed into him and he didn't have time to take a touch and then turn to play the through ball. So he just flicked it with the outside of his foot, and it was such a deft touch. The ball already had the pace on it, but it changed the direction enough to set up Vinicius. Goes round the defender. Perfect weight on it, but just couldn't finish it off. Ball's at the feet of Courtois, who's under some pressure from Mrniewski. Chips it forwards towards the right winger Mastantuono. Struggles to get the ball under control. The 18-year-old. Scored his first goal for Real Madrid against Levante a week ago. Come down the left-hand side now, Kairat, and they chip a ball over towards the back post. It's way over hit though. And that's the quality there, just not quite up to standard with the delivery. Over hit. Rinsky had to chase, try and keep the ball in play. What he could do is slide in and keep the ball as a throw-in to Real Madrid rather than a goal kick. So they take the throw right down by their own corner flag. It's actually intercepted by a Kairat player in midfield. It's Arad. Goes back to Rinsky. And the through ball heads out of play. It's a Real Madrid throw. Again, close to their own corner flag. Garcia starting at left back today, given the injuries to Ferland Mendy. And then Carvajal and Trent, the two right backs, both injured as well. So it's Asensio starting out there. Still a fairly solid back line, must be said. Ceballos brings the ball in the field, gives it to Gula. Gula spreads it out wide to Garcia, who knocks it on to Vinicius. Goes back to David Alaba. Alaba to Ceballos now down the left-hand side. He finds Vinicius. Across to Arda Gula, just inside of the Kairat half. Gula down the left for Ceballos. Knocks it on towards Vinicius. Cuts in field onto his right. Gives the ball back to Ceballos. Now Tchouaméni. Over to Housen. Down the right for Asensio. Real Madrid still in possession. Ball still with Raul Asensio. Housen towards Ceballos. Spreads the ball out wide to the left for Mbappe, who chips it over the top of the defence. Francisco Garcia rolls it across the box, and the shot comes in. Deflected from Arda Gula, and it was rolling into the bottom corner. One of the Kairat defenders stuck out a leg, forced it wide of the post. Fran Garcia with the ball in. Arda Gula with a good shot. Left-footed, curling towards the bottom corner, straight off the cross. It was Martinovic who blocked it. Real Madrid do take the corner. It's whipped into the centre and headed away. No threat for Kairat. 15-time Champions League winners are starting to get a little bit more into the mood. Xabi Alonso didn't revert to his three-man defensive line that he has used a couple of times this season. And those people, well, quite a lot of people actually saying he's under a bit of pressure. He's only lost one game this season. They won 6 in a row, and then it was a pretty damning 5-2 defeat to Atletico on the weekend, but first loss of the campaign. They do have quite a few injuries to contend with. Still have a very good team. Don't get me wrong, I think they should be winning almost every game, but to lose one against a good side as well, and Atletico Madrid, who've invested a lot of money this summer. They actually spent the most out of any team outside of the Premier League. Atletico Madrid in this summer's transfer window, followed by Como in terms of net spend. But yeah, Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso doesn't seem to quite be clicking yet for everyone involved with the club, as a player down, needing some treatment. It's the left winger, Bronco. He's collided with Mastantuono. Both players just making sure each other are okay. Nothing sinister there. The game will get back underway with Ceballos in the central midfield. Forwards to Gula. Back to Housen. Now out wide to Raul Asensio. Switched over towards Dani Ceballos, who gets the ball under control. Finds Tchouaméni. Steps forwards, plays it out to the left for Vinicius. Lovely 1-2 into Gula. Now forwards to Mbappe. Opens up on his right foot. Curls towards the bottom corner. It's a great save from Kalmirza. 2 hands on it, pushes it round the post. And the 18-year-old goalkeeper, playing his second ever European match, throws himself to his left-hand side and pushes it round the post. That is an excellent save. It's a great strike from Mbappe. Would have nestled in the side netting if not for Kalmirza throwing himself to his left and pushing it around the post. Really good goalkeeping that. Corner goes in low towards the front post, finds its way towards the back where Mbappe is, but it's smashed away by the final defender. On the left-hand side comes Vinicius, getting towards the byline, drives in field, and then the challenge comes in from Gronko, who was helping back, tracking all the way. Be a corner to Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso needs a result tonight, that's for sure. Ceballos, one arm in the air, whips it in right-footed towards the front post, flicked on. And the second header is won by a Kairat player. Comes back out to Ceballos on the left wing. He goes back to Fran Garcia. Dastan Satpayev putting on some pressure. The Real Madrid defenders, and he's just 17 years of age. It's a very young side in parts. He's actually off to Chelsea next summer. He's got 11 league goals this season as well. 17 years old, a striker, and the goalkeeper's just 18. Champions League's youngest goal scorer, and it could be a future Chelsea start. On the left it goes. Fran Garcia across to Ceballos, forwards to Gula. Gula turns into the penalty area, gets the ball out of his feet, trying to find a cross, does chip it across the face of the goal, flicked away by the captain Martinovic and then smashed into the air by Casabulat, headed back into the box by Vinicius, controlled by Gula, and the ball's taken off his feet by Gronko, who's back helping defensively as well. Satpayev trying to put the pressure on Real Madrid, who are in possession. He's only 5'5". He's still 17. Could well have a growth spurt still. End up being almost 6 foot by the time he joins Chelsea in the summer. Looks like a fantastic talent. Howson forwards towards Mastantuono on the right hand side. Opens up, switches the ball over to the left hand side with a left footed curling ball, and it's intercepted by Mastantuono as the ball's played back to the goalkeeper. He chips it over him and is taken down, and it's a penalty kick to Real Madrid. It's a real shame for Kairat because they just didn't need to do that. It's a poor through ball from the Uruguayan. It was intercepted very easily and then just knocked back to the goalkeeper. The pass back to him was so under-hit. Mastantuono read what was going to happen, and he just got there a second before the goalkeeper did, who came rushing out to try and claim the ball. And Mastantuono expected the contact, got the contact, went down, and it's a definite penalty kick. The goalkeeper's taken a knock to his head as well in the process. The 18-year-old goalkeeper now faces Kylian Mbappe in a penalty. Can he keep the score at 0-0? Mbappe steps up and rolls it into the bottom left corner. And Real Madrid take the lead. An Mbappe penalty, a familiar sight for Real Madrid in the Champions League this season. He tucks it into the bottom corner. He scored 2 against Marseille in their opening match. 3 goals for the campaign, 3 penalties. That goes for both Real Madrid and Mbappe himself. I must say that one definitely was a penalty kick. It was a real foul from the goalkeeper, who just got it a bit wrong, but mainly to blame was Sorokin for heading the ball back to his goalkeeper so lazily, way under hit. And that's just one of those moments of quality that they didn't quite have. Very simple thing goes wrong, and Real Madrid have punished them. And the score is 1-0 to the 15-time Champions League winners. He's back underway, and Kairat trying to come forwards down the left-hand side. Ceballos rolls it across to Mbappe, who pokes a nice through ball towards Gula. It could be 2. Gula goes down. He wants a penalty. The ball's hit into his face, but the defender got the ball. He's getting back to his feet. No penalty given. Loose pass in midfield. Tchouaméni slides and gets some contact on it. Can't stop it going through, and Garcia has to play back to Courtois, and almost that one was under hit as well, but Courtois just got there. Forwards down the left and collected by Vinicius. He goes down very softly. Wants a free kick. Kairat then chip it down the right wing. Another player on the floor. This time it's Minsky. Alaba collects. Holds possession for Real Madrid. Down in the left back position. Plays it across to Dean Howson. Forwards to Gula, who turns in midfield. It's a lovely turn. Driving forwards now with real intent towards the edge of the box. Through ball towards Mbappe. The defender gets a tiny touch on it. It's incredible defending from Tapalov, who slides in to block the through ball and just gets the smallest of touches on it to take it away from Kylian Mbappe. Absolutely terrific defending, because Mbappe would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he usually scores in those situations. Brilliant from him. Just brilliant. Real Madrid back in possession though, and Gula switches the ball down the left wing with a beautiful through ball which finds Vinicius. He's driving towards the penalty area. Now the 15-time champions are looking very good. Over towards the right wing now for Mastantuono. Chipped in towards the centre of the box, and the goalkeeper comes rushing out to claim. Vinicius goes down again wanting a penalty. Not going to get it. Ball played forwards into the centre midfield for Kairat, and Tchouaméni slides but misses the ball, and they come forwards with the left wing at Gronchio. Shoots from range, blocked, and ricochets back into midfield. Tchouaméni then turns down the left for Garcia. Garcia over for Tchouaméni. Switch to the right wing. Controlled by Raul Asensio. Intercepted in the centre of midfield. Mastantuono forwards to Ceballos. Through it goes. Vinicius tries to get on the end of it. Ball deflects away from him. Rolls back to Gula. Gula on the right hand side of the penalty area. Back to Raul Asensio, who finds Ceballos. Rolls it across to Tchouaméni. Now down the left for Alaba. Rolls through to Fran Garcia, now Mbappe. Mbappe pokes it down the left wing. Deflected. And it comes back out of play. Throw in for Real Madrid, taken quickly. Forwards to Ceballos. Makes a little foray through midfield. Plays to Howson. Down the right wing for Gula. Infield to Ceballos, back to Tchouaméni, 30 yards from goal. Kairat basically all behind the ball. Trying to keep it at 1-0 for now, as Mbappe has his shirt pulled. Free kick to the visitors. That side sits second in the domestic league. They've won their last 3 league titles though. Struggling tonight against Real Madrid after a really positive start. Ball goes back to their goalkeeper. Kalmerza. Chip down the left wing. Alaba shrugs Sapaev off the ball. He's back to Courtois. Out to Alaba. Back across to Kalmerza. Real Madrid on the ball now, in the centre of the pitch with Gula. Little nice through ball, finds Mbappe running at the defence. Mbappe takes the first man on, then goes out wide to the left for Garcia. Back in field to Kylian Mbappe, 20 yards from goal on the right hand side. Out wide to Garcia. Back to Ceballos, across to Tchouaméni. Plays the ball over to the right hand side for Raul Garcia. Down the line for Mastantuono. Couple of step overs. Looks to beat the defender. Flip flap, tries to get inside. Good defending from Louis Mata. Ball falls to Dean Howson on just inside of the Kairat half. We've got 14 minutes to play before half time. Shot comes in from range. It was way too far out to really trouble the goalkeeper from Arda Güler. So both teams second in their domestic leagues. Kairat behind Astana, who are top of the Kazakh Premier League. Real Madrid, after the 5-2 defeat, second in La Liga, just behind Barcelona by 1 point. Looking to get back to their winning ways this evening. They're a goal up, courtesy of a Kylian Mbappe penalty, his third of the Champions League this season. All three of Real Madrid's goals in this campaign have been Mbappe penalties. Now down the right hand side. And the home team. Play it back to the goalkeeper though. He launches it downfield. Rolls through to Courtois. Poke back to Howson. Howson out to the right hand side. Finds Tchouaméni in the centre. Switches the play over to the left for Vinicius. Back to Ceballos, and infield to Tchouaméni again. Now Vinicius trying to drive towards the penalty area. He's challenged, but it ricochets back to him, and then Fran Garcia gets a toe in to stop Kairat coming away with the ball. Pokes it out for a throw in though. Alonso dishing out instructions. 12 minutes to play in the first 45 minutes. Kairat throwing down the right hand side. The ball bobbles over to the left after a chip through ball. Trying to get the ball out of his feet is Gromko, who's absolutely sived in half by Tchouaméni, but it's a fair challenge. He's down injured, but Tchouaméni won the ball. Ceballos over to the left hand side. Vinicius plays it back into midfield and settles it down a little bit. Tchouaméni back to Ceballos. Over to the right hand side. Now it's Mastantuono. Infield to Ceballos. Tchouaméni. Over to Alaba. Now down the left wing for Vinicius. Vinicius tries to get the cross in. It's blocked. Ricochets back to him. Left-footed cross from Garcia is deflected. Comes back out to the left-hand side. Garcia throws it towards Mbappe. Over towards the right-hand side for Mastantuono. Gets the ball onto his left foot, curls towards the far corner. And it's just past the post. Almost. For Mastantuono. Almost able to curl it into that top corner. He's inside the penalty area. Pushed the ball onto his left foot. Just tried to bend it into that opposite top corner. Brilliant effort. Just not quite on the money. Ball drops loose in midfield and Fran Garcia gets hold of it. Plays back to Courtois. 10 minutes to play in this first half, and after a shaky first 10 minutes or so, the game has been dominated, as you'd expect, by Real Madrid. They didn't come out of the blocks very well. They've taken control of the game since, though, which is the important thing for them. Tchouaméni forwards to Gula. Plays the through ball towards Mbappe, who gets towards the byline. Defenders all around him. Mbappe digs the ball out, plays it back, and it's deflected to Ceballos. Then Howson collects. He goes back to David Alaba. Now the ball falls to Tchouaméni. Jostling for possession in midfield with the Kairat players. Eventually it's Sapayev getting back, who dispossesses him. The diminutive striker, 17 years of age. Through the ball for Kairat, looking for Jorginho, who's trying to make a run in behind. He's dispossessed by Alaba, convinced that it was a foul. Sprints over towards Marco Guida, the Italian referee. He's not happy with him at all. You can kind of understand why. Howson switches the play over to the right hand side. Vinicius plays it back in field. That was Tchouaméni. Forwards it goes in towards Fran Garcia. The ball then rolls through to the goalkeeper. Play that to the left. Kairat will bring the ball forwards now. Finding it on the edge of the box, looking to have their first shot in a while, and it comes in left-footed, half volley. Soars over the crossbar. Wasted opportunity, because that was a good chance. Just got way too much on it. Ended up heading it way over the bar. Real Madrid playing the ball out from the back. Out to the left-hand side for Vinicius. Towards Mbappe, controls on the edge of the box, couple of step overs. Mbappe takes the shot, right-footed, goes over the crossbar. Just couldn't quite nail that one. Over the bar it went. Another Mbappe chance. Seems to only be able to score from penalties right now. 3 in the first 2 games, and we're not even at half time in this one yet for Kylian Mbappe. And at least he's scoring goals. No one's going to complain if you're knocking them in. Tchouaméni in possession. Gives it to David Alaba. Alaba across to Howson. We've got 5 minutes to go in the first half. Howson drives into midfield, plays out to the right hand side for Mastantuono. He gives it on towards Gula. It's intercepted at the back though. Drops loose in midfield. Now played forwards. And they're trying to get the ball down the right wing by Kairat. Whipped into the penalty area. Howson heads it away. Ceballos then heads it back towards Courtois. Sapayev goes down in the box, but he's not going to get anything for something quite that soft. It was very minimal contact. Balls with Dean Howson. Forwards to Tchouaméni. Drives to midfield. It's blocked. Kairat will chip it forwards. Howson comes over. Gets a foot in there, intercepts. Now down the right wing for Mastantuono. He rolls it across for Tchouaméni. Goes to Ceballos now. Ceballos forwards to Gula. Running forwards on the edge of the box, out wide to the left for Vinicius. Vinicius drives in field, onto his right foot, bends the shot, saved by the goalkeeper. Another stop from Cal Mirza. Bending it towards the far corner, it ended up quite close to the goalkeeper, in all honesty, but still a decent effort from Vinicius. Down the right hand side goes the through ball, it's intercepted and poked out for what might be a Real Madrid corner. Referee and linesman making their minds up. I think it's going to be a goal kick to Kairat instead. They've got a couple injuries of themselves. Elder Santana and Joao Paulo, long-term absentees. Real Madrid, as I mentioned, suffering at the back defensively with injuries, but outside of the first 10 minutes haven't really been challenged at the back by Kairat, but they really could have taken the lead within 10 seconds with the long ball forwards, headed chance which Courtois saved. Straight from kick-off that was. In possession at the back of Kairat. Forwards it goes. Out towards Raul Asensio on the right hand side. Asensio plays it back to Howson. Howson into midfield for Ceballos. Turning, giving the ball over to David Alaba, who's just on the right hand side of him. Now down the left for Fran Garcia. Fran Garcia towards Vinicius. Again it's Garcia. Over to Alaba now. Finds Tchouaméni. Alaba then chips it down the line towards Vinicius. Challenges with the centre-back. Vinicius. Ball goes through to him. And he's actually conceded a foul there. As the Brazilian winger. Just a bit too aggressive as he tried to get on the end of the through ball. Shrugged the defender off unfairly, according to the referee. Free kick taken, clipped over the top of the Real Madrid defence. Alaba tracking back, manages to get some contact on the ball, then Garcia hooks it away down the line. It's good defending from those two. Find Gula in midfield. Outside of the left foot, plays it over towards Mbappe. It's a wonderful first touch from Mbappe, who's reaching for it, almost over his shoulder, plucks it out the sky. He plays it out to the right for Vinicius, who's overlapped him. Now to Mastantuono, down the line towards Mbappe, who keeps it in play on the byline. Under a lot of pressure in the box, little nutmeg on the defender, smashes it across the face of goal. I think it's nicked the crossbar on the way through. That would have been one of the best goals I've seen this season. Mbappe so close to scoring an absolute beauty. That was world class from the Real Madrid number 10. The first touch, the control over his shoulder to pull the ball out the sky. And then the little 1-2 of Mastantuono. And then thirdly, the nutmeg on Martinovic, who came over to try and stop him getting the shot off. It didn't quite brush the crossbar on the way through, but it was very close. Left-footed curling effort from an almost impossible angle would have finished off a spectacular goal for Mbappe, but it stays 1-0. That penalty goal currently the decisive moment in this first half. Alaba gives the ball back to Thibaut Courtois in goal, out to the right-hand side. Now they work their way up the wing, Real Madrid. Trying to play back towards Howson, but it's intercepted on the left, and driving into the penalty area, Satpayev pulls the ball back for Jorginho. It's good defending though. Really solid defending from Howson, who got back and slid in to block the cross. Very good from him. Sorokin setting it up. Payev wanting the corner, but the ball didn't quite go out of play. And the referee blows for half time. No added time at the end of the first half. The difference being that penalty. After a brilliant start for Kairat, they did fall off. Real Madrid took control. And we're heading to half time. The host Kairat losing by 1-0 against Real Madrid.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Hello and welcome back to second half coverage of Kairat Almaty versus Real Madrid. The first half which saw the visitors take a 1-goal lead, a slender advantage. Kairat still in the match, Mbappe making the difference from the spot and then almost scoring an absolute beauty just before the end of the first half. Following Mbappe's penalty, they were much better, Real Madrid. They started off fairly poorly, to be honest. They were quite slow, but then as soon as that goal went in, they completely changed team. As Mbappe does get the second half underway, plays the ball back to the goalkeeper Courtois, who knocks it all the way down the right wing, flicked on towards Mastantuono. The ball rolls through to the goalkeeper. He gives it out to Sorokin, and that's chipped down the left wing. Intercepted in midfield by Fran Garcia. Forwards to Mbappe. Little back heel towards Tchouameni. And it's worked out down the right by Kairat, who come away with the ball. Played across into midfield, intercepted by Mastantuono. Forwards it goes towards Gula. Now they're coming down the left-hand side, Real Madrid, with Mbappe racing towards the back line. Onto his right foot, plays in Vinicius, who cuts it back towards Mbappe. The pass is just too far in front of him. Cleared by the Kairat defenders. Vinicius with an awesome opportunity to set up Mbappe for a tap-in. Just got the pass wrong. I think he rushed it. If he'd have taken one more touch, he would have been able to set him up on a plate for the goal. Nearly the perfect start to the second half for Real Madrid. Alonso will know that despite being in the lead, they've not quite been as dominant as they should be. They should have scored a lot more by now, you'd imagine, given the massive golf inequality, budgets and the rest of it. I think the Kairat manager, Rafael Erosbakian, might actually be quite happy to only be a goal down at half-time. Still could get a point from this game, still could get all three. It's unlikely, but you know, they're just about in it. So Louis Mata races down the left-hand side. Dean Howson gets there, plays the ball on towards Mastantuono, knocks it in field. Mastantuono is brought down with a sliding tackle. Give me a yellow card issued here. Late challenge on him just inside of his own half as he turned in field and played the pass across. Pretty high challenge, Mastantuono pointing towards his shin pads right the way up his right leg as to where the contact was made. Gromkio has been carded for it. Just a typical foul. Tiny bit late for the ball, but it was just how high it was. He came raking down. Step right on his foot as well. That's a pretty nasty one. Booked for it. I think that's the correct decision. Shouldn't have been a red. Wasn't too malicious, but very painful one for the Uruguayan winger. Vinicius driving forwards, 30 yards from goal, plays it out to the left. Gula back to Ceballos, infield to Mbappe. Once again to Ceballos. Switches it over to the right. Tchouameni then flicks it behind his back to Asensio. Mastantuono in possession. Back to Raul Asensio. Across to Dean Howson. Forwards into midfield for Ceballos. He turns and can get himself up the pitch. Ceballos forwards to Mastantuono again. Central position, 30 yards from goal. Gives it back to Howson. Howson forwards towards Mbappe. The ball rolls through, and indeed all the way through towards the goalkeeper. Kairat back in possession. Calmerza, their keeper, has been very good at times. Yes, he gave away the penalty, but he was sold short by the defender. He had to rush out and try and grab it. He just wasn't given enough purchase on the pass from the header that came back from Sorokin. I don't think it was his fault that they conceded that. He's made a couple of brilliant saves. One very, very good save from Kylian Mbappe. As Real Madrid now come forwards through the centre midfield. Tchouameni on the ball. He's hacked to the ground by Jorginho and Arad, both sliding in one after the other to bring him down. Tchouameni frustrated with the challenge. Arad it was with the first one. Came flying in. I think he gets the ball, but it's the sort of scissor action of the tackle. The referee has signalled to the Real Madrid players that he's got the ball. He has given the free kick to Real Madrid, no card. You can't go into a challenge with a scissor action like that though. They get away with it. It's Club Brugge who have taken the lead against Atalanta in the other game, the other early kick-off in the Champions League. Zolis scored in the first half. Bring you updates of any further developments in that game, but Club Brugge currently top, 4 goal difference, winning their second game in the league phase. If they can keep this lead against Atalanta, Real Madrid will be on 6 points as well if they can hold off Kairat in this second half. They'll be looking to score more undoubtedly though, as Alonso seeks to gain some momentum with this Real Madrid side. They haven't really had any big wins so far that you'd expect from a Real Madrid team. The ball goes into the penalty area and Fran Garcia intercepts the through ball, gives it back to Courtois, who hacks it away downfield, and Mbappe's in behind, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Mbappe dinks it over him. It's deft, it's beautiful, and Mbappe gets his second of the game. It's super classy from him. Courtois hacks the ball away from inside of his own 6-yard box, and it turns into an assist. Mbappe, 4 goals for Real Madrid in 2 Champions League games. That's the first one that isn't a penalty, but it is so coolly taken. Fantastic from him. He leads the Champions League goal scoring, and almost certainly will after today as well. There's no way that that pass from Courtois was deliberate. He's just smashed it clear from inside of his own 6-yard box. And it's gone round the Kairat defenders. Mbappe's used that pace of his to get on the end of it. One-on-one with the goalkeeper and just dinks him with the outside of his right boot. Sorokin desperately trying to get back goal side, but there's nothing he can do to stop the chip. And Mbappe gets his second of the game and probably takes this one away from Kairat now. It's a Courtois assist though. He'll be pleased with that one, whether he meant it or not. Not too often you see a goalkeeper getting an assist. Sometimes from drop kicks you see it. That was just a clearance. He was inside of his 6-yard box as well. Good clearance because he got it that far, but I highly doubt he intended for that to happen. Mbappe was on the other side of the pitch to where the ball actually landed. Uses incredible pace to get goal side. Not your typical Real Madrid tiki-taka, nice football in goal, long ball downfield, and Mbappe did the rest. But they all count, and it's a 2-0 lead for the visitors. Free kick to Kairat, about 30 yards from goal. Whipped in towards the near post by Satpayev, over the wall, and just past the post. Courtois watched it all the way. It wasn't actually that close, but it was well struck. And the future Chelsea striker, player that will be joining them after this season. 17 years of age. Clearly strike a ball well. Arad picking up a card in midfield for what he said to the referee, I think, frustration after the goal. Pretty sure he's picked up a yellow card anyway. We'll confirm that in a second for you. It's Real Madrid forced back to Dean Howson at the back, who brings the ball through midfield. He's so comfortable in possession. It's one of the reasons they signed him. Very classy from him as he brings the ball out of the defence into midfield, makes that transition so seamless. Over towards the right hand side for Mastantuono, puts the ball through the legs of Luis Mata, tries to get the cross off, but by then Casabula has come back and intercepted the ball. Arad has been booked for what he said after Mbappe's goal, I can confirm that. He's not a very happy man right now. All sorts going on between the Kairat players. They're getting pretty frustrated with each other. Playing against Real Madrid though, they're in the Champions League. Of course they want to win and do well, but they're such a small club. To be here is an amazing achievement on itself. Beat Celtic in the penalty shootout to get through, as Arad gets his first opportunity of the game to shoot, gets towards the edge of the box and curls it just over the crossbar. That was a really decent effort from Arad, just been booked, and putting that frustration to good use there with a really powerful strike from range. Curling it just over the crossbar. I don't think Courtois would have got there, as good as he is. It's a cracking effort. So it's out to the right hand side for Mastantuono now. Trying to get the cross in. It's the Uruguayan. It's blocked and deflected. Out for a throw in. Throw into Kairat actually. Lewis Mata takes it. 1-2 between him and Sorokin. And it works down the left hand side, intercepted by Raul Asensio, who's playing right back today. Not looked troubled at all so far. Through midfield. Going Kairat looking for the through ball towards Dean Howson. He steps across, intercepts Chouameni with a little flick in field towards Howson. It's intercepted and it rolls out of play for a throw. Fran Garcia will take. Back it goes to Howson. And across to Thibaut Courtois. He plays it into midfield. Gula with a little step over and turn. Digs out the pass over the top towards Mbappe. It's a beautiful first touch and a backheel nutmeg to set up Vinicius. This would be outrageous. Back to Mbappe, and he's got to tap in, but he puts it wide. That would have been one for the highlight reels from Kylian Mbappe. Gorgeous first touch from the through ball. Little backheel flick nutmeg through the legs of Tapalov to find Vinicius, who didn't want to take the glory for himself, and laid it back to Mbappe. And he had a tap in at the back post, the goalkeeper rushing across the face of goal to get back in position. And Mbappe puts it not just wide, but well wide as well. He had time to think about the finish and everything. It would have been a spectacular goal. Vinicius can't believe he's missed it. He's been robbed of an assist. Mbappe should have a hat-trick. That was a wonderful opportunity. I'm sure there's more to come. Kairat are looking very vulnerable now. Very vulnerable indeed. Defensively wide open. What a miss from Mbappe. He can't believe he's missed it. Ball breaks loose in midfield. With Kairat breaking forwards, it's Casaboulat down the right hand side. Arad dummies the shot, gives it to Tapalov. Tapalov back across to Arad. Once again to the right back Tapalov, who's got forward. They are looking for a goal now, Kairat, trying to get back into the game. 60 minutes played, still 2-0 to Real Madrid. It really should be 3. Mbappe should have got the hat-trick there. Arad down the left hand side. Now playing it onto Tapalov. Gets it back. Switches the play to Gronkyo, who digs out a cross towards the back post. Header is met by Sapayev, but no real purchase on it. Alaba able to clear, slips as he clears, but the ball still goes over the top. It's a wonderful through ball to Mbappe, who's in behind the defence. He plays the through ball to Gula, and miss-hits that. A couple of dodgy minutes for Kylian Mbappe here. Looks so sharp and completely unplayable at times. A couple of nutmegs in this game and some unbelievable skills and pace. Missed the tap in, and then that pass across towards Gula should have been on the money, and it would have been a goal. My oh my. Tchouaméni falls to Vinicius. Gets it back towards Mbappe, and then Tchouaméni goes back out wide. Turns in midfield, gives it in towards Vinicius, who's down, wants a free kick, he's not going to get it. Kairat break forwards down the right hand side. Satpayev keeps it in play. He goes back to the right back. Plays it across over to the left, and then they work their way for a crossing opportunity of Luis Mata down by the corner flag. Stood up by Mastantuono. Mata goes back to the edge of the penalty area. Finds Groncho into the penalty area. Groncho shoots left-footed, parried away by Courtois, and then Raul Asensio concedes the corner. Corner to Kairat. It's going to be left-footed, out-swinging. Towards the centre of the box, it's flicked away by Real Madrid, and then the volley comes in from Mata. What a strike! Pushed away by Courtois. Digs out a cross, goes back into the penalty area, but Luis Mata, for the second time in this game, has struck one amazingly from 30 yards out. That time forced a cracking save by Courtois, but Vinicius is racing down the left, crossed into Mbappe, down the line for Mastantuono, flashed across the face of goal and pushed away by Cal Mirza, who keeps it at 2-0. That could have been 2-1 or 3-0 in the last minute of play. What a strike by Mata. 30 yards out on the half volley, caught it so cleanly. Courtois was quick to get down to his right hand side and push it round the post. Goodness me. Mbappe flicks it on towards Vinicius with a little deft through ball. Vinicius goes down and the goalkeeper has taken one to the chest. Vinicius strolls away, goalkeeper holding his chest. They both just went for the ball. There's no foul, I don't think. 50-50. And a triple substitution now for Kairat. And the carded Arad is going to be the first player to come off. Goodness me, that could have gone one of many ways there. That corner that fell to Mata. I was going to say on the edge of the box, but he was way further out than that. Struck it so well. If that had gone in, it would have been an amazing moment. Even if they go on to lose the game, that would have been spectacular. Mbappe missed a chance for the hat-trick, and another one there. Mastantuono across the face of goal. So it's Tapalov, Jorginho and Arad coming off. Right back, centre mid and a striker. And we're just seeing who's coming on here. Waiting for all the substitutions to be made. Changes across the pitch. It's Stanajev, Ed Milson and Bajbek coming on. So Bajbek will probably come on in central midfield for Arad. Straight swap there. Then Ed Milson will come on to replace Jorginho up front. Striker for striker. And then Zaria, another midfielder, coming on at right back, probably pushing them forwards a little bit. See how it pans out. They are going to go a little bit more attacking to try and get a goal. Strike from Luis Mata was sensational. Right-footed as well from the left back. Courtois could see it all the way. It didn't actually come through a big crowd of bodies, which is why he was able to get down and save it. But if he had an obstructed view of that, that may well have gone into the bottom corner without him being able to see it in time and get down to make the save. Substitutions have been made now for Kairat. The game will continue. Matter keeping it in play. He's been one of the best players for Kairat today. He has actually looked like he's up to the standard of Real Madrid at times. A couple of volleys, good challenges. Portuguese left back has played some of his career in some European clubs. He was at Porto for a while but never left their B team for quite a few years. Played for Cartagena, Portimonense, in and around the Portuguese league, but never a regular. Now playing in Kazakhstan, furthest east away trip in the Champions League. Louis Mata on the ball here as he rolls it into the penalty area. Going down is Gionco, and he's won a penalty. He can't believe it himself, Groncho. Ceballos is furious. Groncho dummying the shot, driving in field. Ceballos just left a toe in there. And Groncho went down, not that convincingly. And the referee's pointed to the spot. Well, we might have a game on here. We might actually have a game on here. Louis Mata got down the left-hand side, played the pass in field. Groncho chopped back onto his right foot. And Ceballos came across. He stuck a left foot in there. There's very minimal contact. Groncho went down. And it wasn't that convincing when I first saw it. I'm looking at it again. It's still not very convincing. The referee pointed straight to the spot though. And I don't think there'll be any change in the decision. I imagine it'll be Satpayev to take this. The 17-year-old will probably be on this penalty. Ceballos saying it was a dive. I'm inclined to slightly agree with him on that one, but this may make the game extremely interesting. There's 23 minutes to play, more like 22 now, and it looks like the penalty is going to stand. The referee has been asked to have a look at it on VAR though, and actually we may be having it overturned. He's going over to the screen, and normally what happens when they go over to the screen is they overturn the decision. So now starts the wait to see if this is going to stand or not as a penalty kick. Big moment in the game this, it really is. And the thing is for the referee that as he's looking at the penalty decision, the camera's not actually quite caught the exact moment where the contact comes in, so he's looking at the monitor with a slightly restricted view, but he has made his mind up very quickly and he's chalked the penalty off, and that's extremely disappointing for Kairat Almaty. I think it's the right decision though, I must admit. Ceballos does, I don't even think he touches him in fairness. It can't really be a penalty. The player has thrown himself to the ground, Groncho. Shame for them though, they could have had a goal against Real Madrid. Would have still had to beat Courtois from the spot of course, but a massive opportunity to get a goal, which they no longer have. So Real Madrid keep their 2-goal advantage against Kairat Almaty. It should be more. Let's not mess around. They should have scored a heck of a lot more. They should have played a bit better in all honesty. But the second half, after the first goal in the first half, they have been quite good. They probably should have scored 4, given the current chances they've had. They made a couple of changes actually. Mastantuono and Vinicius coming off for Brahim Diaz and Rodrigo. Whilst that penalty VAR check was going on. Ceballos forwards to Mbappe, bounces the ball, try and find Ardagula. Intercepted, played back to the goalkeeper. He chips it into midfield. It's collected by Brahim Diaz, who's working his way down the right wing. Diaz gets to the byline, turns back onto his left foot, whips the play across to Ceballos. Bounces it out to Raul Asensio. Back it goes to Dean Howson. Ceballos then turns and plays forwards to Brahim Diaz. Little flick round the corner towards Mbappe, is intercepted. Then Howson, forwards he plays it towards Arda Güler. Flick back and up in the air back towards Howson, who heads it on towards his centre-back partner David Alaba. Looking really good in white. Dean Howson settling in now as a Real Madrid centre-back. So good on the ball, that's why they signed him. And he's living up to the expectations in that regard as the through ball goes towards Vinicius, who flicks it with his heel towards Mbappe. Mbappe racing onto it, but it's really good defending. Substitute Stanijev getting across, putting a foot in there to clear the ball. Corner to Real Madrid. 18 minutes to play. 2 goals to the good. Arda Güler, one arm in the air, ready to take this one. Left-footed effort towards the front post, and it's straight into the side netting. Poor delivery from Arda Güler. Take the goal kick short to Kairat. Having lost their first game 4-1 to Sporting, they probably would have expected this one to be a lot worse than that, and it hasn't been. And they've been alright actually as a team. A few decent players. They've had good performances, and first goal was a big mistake from them defensively. They have made a couple of opportunities. They've also kept Real Madrid at bay for long periods of the game. I think they'll be quite pleased overall, even if it does end in a loss. Still got time to try and get something from the game though. Tchouaméni plays it out to the left-hand side. Gets it back from Garcia. He's having his shirt pulled in the centre of midfield. Finds Ceballos. Back to David Alaba. And now down the left-hand side for Vinicius. Back in field. Mbappe. 1-2 between him and Rodrigo. Rodrigo driving forwards on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it through to Mbappe, and Mbappe smashes it into the bottom corner. There's the hat-trick. And it's come from almost nowhere. A bit of a lull in the game. Rodrigo and Mbappe linking up. And the substitute, who came on just a few minutes ago, sets up Mbappe. There's the hat-trick, and now the game is beyond Kairat. And that man has been pretty much unplayable this evening. 5 goals in 2 Champions League matches for Kylian Mbappe. His start to the European campaign couldn't be going much better. Absolutely loving his life in the Champions League. Rodrigo knocking the ball through to him. It was well left by Güler, who could have tried to control it himself and have the shot. Mbappe must have called it. He left the ball at the last second. And he just raced onto it from outside the box, smashed it as hard as he could into the bottom corner. I actually think Güler's got a tiny little touch on that. He's stolen the assist off Rodrigo. But it is 3-0. And unfortunately for Kairat, that will be that in terms of the game. Looked about 10 minutes ago like they might have had a penalty and could have made it 2-1. Mbappe has punished them. Real Madrid coming forwards again, they want more. Down the left wing towards Rodrigo, infield to Mbappe, nice 1-2. Rodrigo tries to get a little opportunity, an opening to shoot, but it's deflected and finds Tchouaméni. Forwards to Mbappe, and now Kairat need to settle and try and stop the goals flooding in for goal difference reasons, because there obviously is still a chance of them qualifying for the Europa League through the league phase if they can pick up some results later on, but they don't want to concede too many here as Mbappe takes another shot. Saved by Kalmirza. He rolls it out down the left-hand side to Sorokin. Kairat then whipped the ball down the line, looking for a through ball. It's headed away by Alaba. Dean Howson tries to clear, and coming across is Satpayev, who just fouls him as he tries to clear the ball. Howson going down After sack player just sticking his toe in there as he tried to clear the ball. Not too much in that. Knocks it downfield, 15 minutes to play. Real Madrid leading by 3-0 away from home. Looking much more like the scoreline Alonso would have wanted before kick-off. Hasn't been completely plain sailing. Mbappe currently on 3 goals though, should have had 4. But still, there's more opportunity to get that 4th, and I think missing that tap in has spurred him on to go and get that extra goal to secure the hat-trick. Tchouaméni forwards to Gula, Mbappe waiting for it again. Gula plays it out to the left-hand side for Fran Garcia, who keeps it in play close to the touchline. Infield towards Rodrigo, couple of step-overs, finds Mbappe. 1-2 between him and Gula. Now out to the right for Brahim Diaz. Diaz, couple of step-overs, gets the ball back onto his left foot, very congested in the penalty area. And Kairat can play it forwards down the left-hand side. Bit of a challenge in midfield from Tchouaméni, who shoves the substitute buyback to the ground. And he's landed on the running track just next to the grass playing surface. In fact, just next to the Real Madrid bench. He's down and in some pain. That is a painful one. One of the issues with having a running track right next to the football pitch, as you get harsh landings sometimes. He's back to his feet now. This is the last thing Kairat want to see, is Jude Bellingham getting ready to come on. Must have almost forgot that Real Madrid had all this firepower on the bench. Rodrigo, Diaz, Bellingham, all these players they're bringing on. Absolutely incredible. Gula has been credited with the assist actually for that 3rd goal, taking it off Rodrigo with the deftest of little touches. Kairat bring it down the left wing, knocked in field, brushed out to the right hand side, gets it onto the right foot, chips it across goal, and Courtois collects. Bowled out to the left wing. Now Rodrigo can bring it forwards once again for Real Madrid. Gives the ball to Mbappe. Little 1-2. Exchange it a couple of times before finding Tchouaméni. Forwards to Mbappe. Back heel to Rodrigo. And then down the left-hand side. Gula. It's back to Mbappe. Forwards down the left-hand side. Now on to Brahim Diaz on the right. Couple of step-overs, gets it infield on his left, shoots from range, and the goalkeeper tracks it all the way past the post. Atalanta have equalised against Club Brugge. Samardzik from the spot. As Real Madrid are going to make 3 changes themselves now. My word, are they good. Having this sort of firepower on the bench is not normal, that must be said. It's pretty exceptional. They're going to make a couple of changes themselves though, Kairat. Zaria and Ricardinho are both coming on for Gronchio. It's definitely one of the players coming off. Didn't quite catch the second one, but Ricardinho is on. So they're still going for it. They're trying to get a couple of goals with a few more attacking changes. Ricardinho, definitely more of a forward player. And now time for Real Madrid to make their changes. Gula, Tchouaméni and the hat-trick scorer Mbappe all off. 3 players down the middle of the pitch. Bellingham on. There's the first change, whether he'll play attacking midfield or striker. We'll find out in a second, but he scored the hat-trick tonight. He's lit up this game. He's been fantastic, brilliant, skillful, and pretty clinical throughout. He could have had 4, but I'm sure he won't mind too much with the hat-trick. And Camavinga is the other player to come on in midfield, and then Gonzalo Garcia up front for Real Madrid. So they're going to make all their allowed changes now. So it's Garcia for Mbappe, Bellingham on for Gula, and Camavinga on for Tchouaméni. The game's back underway. Zaria and Ricardinho came on for Gromkio and Satpayev. Those were the changes for Kairat. A couple more forward players. So we'll see if they can get a goal back, perhaps. That's what they're probably going for. Just a goal against Real Madrid would be a massive moment for them as a club. It's been a great atmosphere all evening, and those supporters sticking around to see their side the final 9 minutes against one of the greatest teams in history. The best team in the Champions League's history, that's for sure, with 15 wins. More than 7 times more wins of this competition than Kairat have got appearances in it. It's just their 2nd time playing a game in the Champions League. As Camavinga brings the ball forwards down the left-hand side, driving forwards with pace and power, plays it out to the left for Rodrigo. Rodrigo going all the way down the line, cuts it across to Camavinga, who heads it into the back of the net, and it's a glorious goal. The 2 substitutes linking up. Rodrigo with a cute little cross into the box, and Camavinga, who'd made his run all the way from his own penalty area, heading it past the goalkeeper, who came out to try and claim it, but he was just behind it. And that makes it 4-0. Real Madrid now running away with it. Alonso's team showing their class as Kairat still commit players forward to try and just get 1 goal. Rodrigo's little clipped ball across for Camavinga. Diving header, got there before the goalkeeper, and it was basically an open goal once he got in front of him. Brilliant run initially to set up the through ball for Rodrigo, poked around the defender, and just before he hit the byline, dinked it across. And Real Madrid now 4 goals up, as they should be against a team like this. But the second half has been much better than the first half, and they'll be very pleased with that, whether that's to do with the fitness of Kairat or the intensity they weren't able to keep up with for quite as long. But that first half would have disappointed Real Madrid, I'm sure, even though they took the lead. They'll be very, very pleased, especially Alonso, that this second half has gone how it has. Because at Real Madrid, often winning is not quite enough. As we saw with Ancelotti last season, he was winning games, but not by enough goals. And so the expectations are extremely high as Kairat come down the left-hand side, and the shot is fired in from a very tight angle from Louis Mata. Been their best player tonight, I think. Saved by Courtois. It's a throw-in on this near side. Louis Mata grasping his shirt, frustrated. He's desperate to get a goal this evening. He's been very, very good at times. Definitely been the closest they've come to getting a goal. And it could have happened, but just hasn't quite come off for them. Down the right-hand side. Infield to Howson. Rodrigo down the left. Camavinga into midfield. Bellingham turns and gives it out to the left-hand side for Rodrigo. Across to Camavinga. Real Madrid still coming forwards. Down the left-hand side. Keeping the ball in play. Alaba into Ceballos. into the line for Garcia, who cuts it back to the edge of the box. Camavinga trying to get the shot off, hacked away. The recovering Casabulat for Kairat. Less than 5 minutes to play now. Across to Housen. Real Madrid still coming forwards. Down the left it goes to Rodrigo. Touch out of his feet, trying to break down the left wing. Marinsky comes across with the challenge. Out it goes for a throw. Beautiful goal from Rodrigo and Camavinga though just a few minutes ago. Real Madrid's fourth, but probably their best, their easiest on the eye, that's for sure. Terrific goal from the two substitutes. Ball loose in midfield and Ceballos through to Bellingham. Bellingham then knocks it down the line. Rodrigo's going to keep it in even though it's overhit. He just about does. It's brilliant from him. He seems very much up for it. Little nutmeg on the defender. Rolls it across the penalty area. Kairat clear this time. They get forwards on a counter-attack down the left-hand side. And the substitute Ricardinho finds Taria. And the long ball forwards is intercepted by Fran Garcia. Real Madrid back on the ball. The counter-attack finished. Camavinga works his way through the midfield. Ceballos, they give the ball away this time. Camavinga works to win it back and does so. So good since he's come on. Eduardo Camavinga. Fran Garcia now down the left for Rodrigo. He drives inside, finds Bellingham. Bellingham plays it out to the right. Now Asensio. Forward to Brahim Diaz. Now Housen. Out to Rodrigo. Rodrigo down the left hand side. Cuts infield onto his right. Takes the shot from outside the box. Tries to curl it into the far top corner. Gets way too much on it. Under the shot and over the crossbar. Goalkeeper takes the goal kick quickly for Kairat. And they'll start playing out from the back, down the right hand side. It's collected by Ceballos. Down the right it goes. Diaz chips it left footed into the penalty area. Headed away. Long ball downfield by Kairat. Looking to try and get back. Possession. Ceballos forwards to Alaba. Alaba into Camavinga in the centre of midfield. Over to Tchouameni. Real Madrid looking for a fifth here. Long ball forwards down the left for Brahim Diaz. Intercepted in midfield. The game now just both teams basically waiting for the full-time whistle as it stands. Real Madrid have done the job. In this second half, they've been very, very good. Mbappe with the hat-trick. Played amazingly well this evening. On the left it goes. Gets to the byline. Tries to cut it back for Kairat. 30 seconds left to play. Cross is deflected off Raul Asensio out for a corner, so they will have one more chance to whip the ball in at least. Corner for Kairat as the clock ticks over to 90. Right footed in, swinging by Zaria. Poked away at the front post. There's 3 minutes of additional time in this one. Falls out for Kairat. Chip forwards, long over the top, all the way through to Courtois, who has a player challenging him for it. Courtois unfazed though, and easily collects it. Down it goes towards Bellingham in the centre midfield, out to the left-hand side. Rodrigo drives in field onto his right foot. Rodrigo shoots, the goalkeeper saves. Too central in the end, the shot. He keeps it close to him. Down the right-hand side they come for one last counter-attack perhaps. Substitute Marinsky. Chips it over towards the left. Ricardinho controls. Ed Milson down the left for Mata, who's been so good all game. Whips it in left-footed. No one on the end of the cross. Rodrigo collects. Plays down the left-hand side. Bellingham on the siege in midfield. Wants the free kick. Not going to get it. Kairat play on. Across the other substitutes, and they're trying to work a chance down the left, but nothing coming just yet. They play it down the left for Rodrigo now. Real Madrid driving into the penalty area, cuts it back for Bellingham. Bellingham opens up the shot on the right foot, and again very central. Had time and space to pick a shot out, and it's not the best effort, in all honesty, from Jude Bellingham. Chipped away by Kairat with less than a minute to play now. Midfield with Bellingham. He drives forward, perhaps one last chance for Real Madrid. As we come towards the end of the game in which they've really dominated after the opening 20 minutes. Atalanta have actually snatched the lead from Club Brugge, which means that Real Madrid will be the only team on 6 points as it stands after tonight. That may change with the other fixtures going on. They come forwards down the right with Brahim Diaz, and he makes it 5 just before the full-time whistle. Brahim Diaz smashing the ball into the bottom left corner to cap off a brilliant Real Madrid display. This second half has been exceptional. They've shown their dominance. Xabi Alonso will be extremely pleased with how they've come out in the second 45 minutes. A 5-0 victory in the Champions League, regardless of who they're playing against, is never something to undermine. Great performance in the second half. Very encouraging signs. Mbappe looks to be firing on all cylinders now, and it's an optimistic look for the season ahead in European competitions for Real Madrid. They're 5-0 up. The full-time whistle goes, and that's essentially that. Mbappe dominating, Real Madrid on top, and it's full-time here in Kazakhstan. Kairat Almaty 0, Real Madrid 5.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.